Have you ever felt like your whole life was a battle? Like you were fighting unseen forces while everyone else kept moving forward? What if I told you? The war is over. And not just that. Heaven has already announced your victory. Welcome, Heaven's chosen. This message found you for a reason. You didn't click this video by accident. Something bigger is happening. By the end of this video, you'll understand why your pain had purpose, why the delays were divine, and why your name is being spoken in heavenly places right now. So take a deep breath, because today you're not just going to feel inspired, you're going to be activated. Let's begin. You were set apart before you were even born. There were whispers in heaven about your arrival, about the mission you would carry and the storms you would survive. Every hardship you faced wasn't a coincidence. It was part of your molding. The pressure wasn't punishment, it was preparation. You were being shaped for something greater than you imagined. In the moments when you felt the most invisible, heaven was watching the closest. Not a single tear went unnoticed. Not a single prayer faded into silence. While the world overlooked you, the heavens were taking notes. You were never walking alone, even when your feet bled from the journey. You were escorted by angels, even when it felt like you were abandoned. There's a strength inside you that no one taught you, because it was placed in you by the divine. This strength isn't loud. It's quiet, steady, and relentless. It shows up when everything else falls apart. You didn't break even when everything around you did. That's not luck, that's legacy, that's the mark of the chosen. Many people see the glow now, but they didn't witness the crushing. They admire your wisdom, but they didn't live your nights of confusion. You've been refined in fire. You've been tested in silence. And now you carry something others can't imitate. Authority that was earned in private battles. You are walking proof that survival is sacred. What you carry cannot be taken. It wasn't given by man, so it cannot be stolen by man. Your anointing is protected, your calling is sealed. Heaven announced your victory not just to honor you, but to remind you, you are needed for this generation. You are the proof that purpose wins over pain. And now your time has come. There were battles you never spoke about, silent storms that raged inside you while you smiled for the world, and yet you kept moving. You kept believing. Even when your faith was hanging by a thread, something in you refused to quit. That something was your divine assignment pushing you forward. People assumed you were fine because you didn't complain. But what they didn't see was how you cried in the car, how you sat in the dark asking, God, when will it end? And still you rose the next day, still you showed up. That wasn't weakness, that was pure, sacred strength born from surrender. The enemy tried to break you through isolation. He thought if he could separate you from people, he could silence your voice. But instead, he pushed you deeper into your calling. In that lonely space, you met God in ways you never had before. You didn't just survive the battle. You found power in the silence. Your silence was never emptiness, it was strategy. Heaven was hiding you for a season. Not because you were forgotten, but because you were being fortified. While others were shining on the surface, your roots were growing deeper. Now when you rise, boom, it will be unshakable. And now the announcement has been made. Heaven has declared your name with authority. You are no longer fighting. You are stepping into fulfillment. The battle is over. And your victory, it's not just personal, it's prophetic. Because your win is tied to others' freedom. You are not just chosen, you are commissioned. While you were questioning your worth, heaven was already speaking your name with honor. In rooms unseen, in realms beyond sight, your identity was never forgotten or insignificant. It was anointed, appointed, and remembered. Your existence has always been part of a divine strategy. Even when you didn't feel it, your name carried power in heaven. There are moments in life when everything feels quiet, not because nothing is happening, but because something sacred is being prepared. Heaven doesn't need noise to move. In fact, the most powerful announcements are made in silence. When God speaks your name, it's not for applause, it's for assignment. And now, that assignment is ready. Heaven doesn't speak casually. When your name is released from the throne room, it's a declaration of alignment. The resources, timing, and people connected to your purpose begin to move. What once felt stuck begins to unlock, not because you forced it, but because heaven endorsed it. The announcement has gone out. Now, all creation must respond. When heaven speaks, hell trembles. Every attack sent to destroy you becomes ineffective. Every lie loses its grip, because once the Creator calls you by name, your identity is sealed. You're not what they said about you. You're not what your past tried to label you. You are who heaven says you are, and that is final. This is the moment where everything changes, not because you changed it, but because heaven already decided. You've been released into a new season. A divine yes has echoed through the heavens. No one can cancel it. No one can delay it. Your name has been announced, and it's time for you to rise. Some of the pressure you've felt wasn't even yours. You were born into a family, a generation, or a culture that handed you invisible weights. Emotional burdens, unspoken expectations, cycles that no one dared to break. Until you. What crushed others you carried, what silenced others you questioned, and that alone made you dangerous. The struggle you endured wasn't just about you. It was about what was coming through you. Every time you chose to heal instead of harm, to forgive instead of retaliate, to rise instead of sink. You were rewriting history. You were tearing down strongholds you didn't create, but refused to pass on. That is legacy work. That is chosen one work. You didn't need to announce your mission. Your resilience did it for you. Your endurance broke invisible chains. Your courage became a blueprint for others who didn't know freedom was possible. And while you thought you were just surviving, you were actually building a bridge for generations behind you to walk on. The pain you went through became a sacred offering. Heaven received your silent sacrifices, the prayers, the tears, the moments of surrender. And now, a reward is being released. You are stepping into rest, not because you gave up, but because you broke through. The fight you carried for so long has finally shifted. Because of your obedience, there's a ripple effect happening. Blessings are being unlocked in places you've never been. Lives are being touched by choices you made when no one was watching. This is what it means to be chosen, to carry the weight, to break the curse, and to birth the promise. And you did it. Heaven sees it, and now, it's your time. Something has shifted, even if your surroundings haven't caught up yet. The spiritual realm always moves before the physical. What looked like delay was actually divine timing recalibrating your path. You didn't miss your moment. You were being aligned with something bigger. And now that the announcement has been made in heaven, things on earth are about to follow. You may still feel tired, but momentum is building behind the scenes. Doors that were shut tight are beginning to loosen. Conversations are happening that you haven't heard yet. People are being moved into your path, not by chance, but by divine orchestration. The silence is ending. The tide is turning. And this time, nothing will stop what's coming. Heaven's timeline is perfect. What you thought was a no was actually a not yet. What you saw as rejection was redirection. And now, the green light has been given. You'll notice things starting to flow easier. Your ideas will gain traction. Your name will come up in rooms you've never entered. That's not luck. That's divine release. You'll begin to notice how your spirit feels lighter. The anxiety, the tension, the waiting, and it's lifting. That's not a coincidence. That's confirmation. You've entered a new season, and what was once hard to carry will now feel effortless because heaven is now pushing with you, not just watching you. The shift has already begun. This is your moment to prepare, not panic. The change will be fast, sudden, unpredictable, but you're ready. You've been trained in the fire, and now that the atmosphere has shifted in your favor, your only job is to stay in position. Stay aligned. Stay expectant, because the new has already begun to unfold. There is no injustice heaven overlooks. Every wound, every betrayal, every lie you endured, it was seen. Not one moment escaped the eyes of divine justice. You may have been silent, but heaven was taking notes. And now, the scales are tipping. What was unfair is being corrected by the one who sees all. You didn't need to defend yourself because heaven was already building your case. Every false accusation, every moment you were overlooked, every time someone took advantage of your grace, it's all being addressed, not with human revenge, but with heavenly justice, the kind that restores, repairs, and redeems. Those who tried to break you will witness your restoration, not because they deserve to, but because God is using your rise to send a message. He protects his chosen. He honors the humble, and he corrects what man tries to distort. You are the living testimony that divine justice is real and active. This is not just about payback. It's about restoration. What was taken from you is coming back. What was delayed is being released. What was hidden is being brought into light. You didn't lose. You were simply placed on pause until the judge of heaven said, "Now." Your heart may still carry traces of past pain, but watch how healing floods in like a river. Watch how the truth begins to unfold publicly. Watch how peace replaces the bitterness. That's divine justice. It doesn't just balance the scales, it heals the soul. And now it's happening for you. You are no longer who you used to be. The version of you that once begged for clarity, that once questioned their worth, has evolved. Through every fire, through every storm, you have emerged with a mantle of authority. You are not just healed, you are commissioned. You don't just speak from knowledge now, but from divine experience. And that has weight in the spiritual realm. What you carry now isn't loud, but it's powerful. Your presence shifts atmospheres even when you say nothing. That's the anointing of the overcomer. It's not something you earned by titles or status. It's something forged in the trenches of battle. Heaven has recognized it. Now the earth will begin to respond to it. Your words carry weight because they've been purified by truth. You no longer speak from theory. You speak from survival, from breaking and rebuilding, from dying to your own will and rising in divine purpose. That kind of wisdom can't be faked. That kind of fire can't be imitated. And now, when you speak, chains break. There's a boldness in you now. You're not afraid to walk alone. You're not afraid to say no. You're not seeking validation from broken systems because now you know who you are. Not just in theory, but in spirit. And that confidence isn't arrogance. It's awareness. It's divine alignment with who you were always meant to be. You wear the scars, but not the shame. You carry the memory, but not the weight. And because of that, others will be set free. Your story isn't just survival. It's strategy. God will use your life as a blueprint for those who thought they wouldn't make it. And through you, victory will become contagious. Some people watched you suffer and assumed it was the end. They misread your silence as surrender, your stillness as defeat. But they didn't understand. You were in preparation. Now the same ones who doubted you will witness your rising. Not because you want revenge, but because God wants revelation. This isn't about proving them wrong. It's about proving him right. Your comeback isn't petty. It's prophetic. It will be public not for ego, but for impact. God is putting you on display, not to boast in your strength, but to show the world what his glory looks like through someone who didn't quit. Those who counted you out are about to be confused. Because nothing in their calculations accounted for grace, they didn't factor in the favor on your name or the angels assigned to your life. While they were plotting your end, heaven was planning your elevation. And now, they have no choice but to watch. God is not spiteful, but he is strategic. And sometimes he places your table in the presence of your enemies. Not to shame them, but to redeem the narrative. Your rise will be undeniable, not because you demanded it, but because you remained faithful. Heaven saw what they didn't. And now the reward is undeniable. Let your elevation speak, let your fruit speak, let your peace speak. You don't need to explain how you made it. Your life will be the answer. And those who once questioned your worth will now witness your assignment. Not everyone will celebrate you. But that's okay. They're not meant to follow you, only to witness that you were chosen. This is not the final chapter. It's the opening scene of something greater. You didn't just survive the storm, you graduated from it. You carry the wisdom, the fire, and the scars. And now God is trusting you with more. New territory, new authority, and new responsibilities are being handed to you, not because you asked, but because you're ready. You may not feel ready, but heaven isn't basing this next season on your emotions. It's based on your endurance, on your obedience in the quiet, on your faith in the middle of loss. The promotion you're walking into was scheduled long ago, but only now is the timing aligned. You've passed the test. Now comes the release. You're stepping into divine assignments that once overwhelmed you. Doors are opening that were previously locked because you now have the character to carry what's behind them. You're no longer chasing opportunity. Opportunity is about to chase you because you've been found faithful with little, and now more is being entrusted to you. This is the moment to dream again, not from survival but from strength. It's time to plan again, not out of fear of failure but from a position of favor. You're not the same person who began this journey. That version of you needed proof. This version of you walks by faith, and heaven is responding. Don't let your past limits define your future vision. The story is just beginning and the ink is fresh. You're not called to repeat patterns, you're called to establish new ones. You are a pioneer, a builder, a carrier of breakthrough. This next chapter won't be easy, but it will be glorious, and you've been chosen to lead it. While you're still trying to process the shift, heaven is already celebrating it. In realms you cannot see, angels are rejoicing, not because everything is perfect, but because the victory has been sealed. Your spirit crossed a line that your mind hasn't fully caught up to yet. And now the celebration has begun. Heaven doesn't wait for man's approval to celebrate divine moments. It moves when God speaks, and God has spoken over you. It is done. That means restoration is on its way. Peace is returning. Strength is increasing. And joy, deep, unshakable joy, is being poured out over you like oil. You may not feel the party yet, but the atmosphere around you has changed. Your sleep will be different. Your prayers will be sharper. Your discernment will rise. These are signs of divine celebration, signs that the weight has lifted and favor has taken its place. You didn't just win, you were welcomed into a new realm of authority. It's time to shift your posture. From surviving to soaring, from hoping to receiving, from waiting to walking, heaven isn't asking you to earn anything. It's already been given. What's required now is alignment, agreement, the willingness to move with what's already been declared over your life. So lift your head, wipe your tears, straighten your crown. Heaven is cheering, angels are dancing, because one of the chosen, you made it. You've crossed over. The battle is over. The war is won, and your name has been declared in victory. You didn't just listen to a message. You walked through a spiritual awakening. You were reminded of who you are, of what you carry, and of the heavenly power that fights for you even when you're silent. This wasn't just a video. This was a divine confirmation. The battle is over. The announcement has been made. You are not broken. You are not forgotten. You are heaven's chosen. If something deep inside you resonated today, if your spirit felt seen, I want you to go to the comments and write, Heaven's chosen. So I know you made it to the end. So I know you're part of the remnant that refuses to give up. And so others can see they're not alone. What part touched you the most? What truth did you need to hear today? Share it in the comments. Your voice might be the exact light someone else needs. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because this was just the beginning, and your story is about to shake heaven and earth. Until next time, walk boldly, speak truth, and never forget, you were chosen, you are covered, you have already won.